Cop29 climate deal. India says it's abysmally poor, and India makes history with a fiery rejection of the adopted declaration. Landslides and flash floods hit Indonesia's Sumatra area. At least 16 people have died in that flash flood. All right, our big story that we're tracking right now, it is what's happening in Pakistan right now. And several reasons why what's happening right now in Pakistan is a cause of worry to India. Firstly, what has happened in the last couple of days is there have been recent instances of bombings that have taken place in Pakistan. Parts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa where there's been very serious cases of Shia versus Sunni conflicts that have also happened due to the bombings that have taken place. Over 40 people have died so far. That area continues to remain tense. So there's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa that is tense, Balochistan that continues to remain on the boil as far as Pakistan is concerned. On top of that, there is fresh updates coming in. The jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan's party, that is Pakistan Tehreek-i-Insaf, has once again resumed its march towards Islamabad on Monday. There was an overnight stop on the way amidst very stiff resistance that had been put up by the authorities to foil any attempts to enter the capital. In fact, the entire capital, entire Islamabad area was under lockdown due to unprecedented security measures. Why? Because the deep state, the establishment, is taking on the 72-year-old jailed former Prime Minister, who in fact issued a final call on the 13th of November for nationwide protests to take place on the 24th, that is today, yesterday in fact, denouncing what he termed as a stolen mandate. There are essentially three key demands that Imran Khan has, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about, and why those demands are unlikely to be met, why the situation is likely to intensify and create a bigger security issue as far as India and the region is concerned. Three key demands of Imran Khan. First, he says that the mandate is stolen. Second, he says that the 26th Amendment to the judicial process should in fact be revoked. And the third thing he's been saying again and again is the fact that the deep state needs to now claw back against him. In fact, listen in to some bites that are coming in of Bushra Bibi, Prime Minister of the jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan.
रसूलुल्लाह के उम्मतियों को खान को और मेरा सलाम। खान के हुक्म पे 24 नवंबर से नहत्ती अवाम रुकावटें हटाती हुई इस्लामाबाद पहुंच रही है। जो अभी तक नहीं निकले वो अपने और अपने मुल्क के मुस्तकबिल के लिए इस्लामाबाद पहुंचे, क्योंकि आपके मुल्क के मुस्तकबिल का सवाल है। बहुत शुक्रिया।
Okay, so I don't know Urdu, but we'll try and get you that translation. Essentially, I'm sure Bushra Bibi must be saying that the arrests regarding Imran Khan is something that the entire protests have been all about. We're going to get you that translation in a bit. Before I get in Tehreek-i-Insaf, I want to tell our viewers what is it that's of concern to New Delhi and why we are discussing this story, why this matters to the viewers of India Global. Let's get those questions up and running. Now, is Pakistan facing a crisis of legitimacy? It's already facing a crisis of economy. It's already facing a crisis in terms of the deep state not getting along with the elected government. Now, the crisis of legitimacy has extended to the government as well. That's question number one. The second key question is that can Imran Khan actually topple Shahbaz Sharif's government? Remember, he's extremely popular. His clarion calls are being answered by his supporters on the streets. Who would have thought the tenacity with which Imran Khan is continuing? So there's a serious question. Can Shahbaz Sharif's government actually be toppled? And the third and the most important question is that should India now be worried about a growing security issue on its borders? Pakistan is in a state of boil, has been for some time now, but seems the situation is far from being under control. Let's get in Tehreek-i-Insaf to talk about this, and then we're going to get some voices from Pakistan as well. Remember, a large part of Pakistan internet has been suspended, and which is why communication lines for all practical purposes are down, but we're going to get those lines up and running. But first up, Tehreek-i-Insaf, former Director of National Security Council with me on the broadcast. Tara, the situation is not just unprecedented, it's pretty much now edging towards being on boil right now.
Oh, yes, it is. Because I think Gaurie, unlike we've seen crisis in Pakistan before, right? I mean, this thing has been going protest, bomb blast, blah, blah. This time, the issue is everything is coming together. You know, it's not just the political crisis, as that question you put up in terms of political legitimacy. That is what is being questioned by Imran Khan, and with a lot of justification. Because I remember I was monitoring those elections and we saw how the numbers kind of shifted suddenly, right? I mean, some of those places that was very surprising. So there's a question of legitimacy of this government. And I think the second part is that Imran himself is so he's popular. The crowds which come to him are not just the what one expects in South Asia, right? It's a lot of middle class. There's the youth, there are women, there are serving army people like we saw last time, and their families. They're all out supporting Imran Khan because they see him, rightly or wrongly, as the one person who is not corrupt, who is not part of that, that family circle of corruption. And let's remember, they haven't been able to prove a single case against him. I mean, each case has been one by one has been dropped. Which is
Exactly.
why they brought in, if you remember, the whole arrest of the former ISI chief, Faiz
Right.
Hamid. That was the whole idea, to
Yes.
get charges against him.
Indeed, and let's get in Aisha Siddiqui as well. Siddiqa, who's joining us from London, author and senior fellow of King's College. She's written extensively about the deep state, the Pakistani army, and how it continues to play such a big role in the Pakistani establishment. Aisha, many thanks for joining on this show. Let me start by asking you, how do you read the situation that's unfolding in Pakistan? Unlike some of the other protests in the past, it seems that it's now in fact spiraling, and nothing that the government is doing is ensuring that the supporters of Imran Khan back down.
Well, let me first start with your initial comment. You were like, this is something happening in India. This is not about India. This is not something which is threatening India at all. This is about a political instability. In fact,
No, I didn't use the word threatening. I said
no,
worrisome security concerns on our border. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, but it's not a security concern on your border. The thing is, this is domestic issue with Pakistan, deeply domestic, firstly. And, not everything is linked with India. Secondly, it's important to know that, I mean, despite that I'm not personally a supporter of either PTI or Imran Khan, I think this is, in a way, a reflection of people's resilience. I mean, how do you count, for example, resilience? Here are people, right or wrong, we may not approve of Imran Khan, like his ideology, like his politics. The fact is, here are his supporters who are saying, we're tired of traditional politics. We're tired of how the military establishment manipulates Pakistan's politics. And we want to regain a foothold by bringing this man whom they believe is going to change Pakistan's future. Uh, interestingly, there is a solid corruption charge against Imran Khan, which somehow they've not been able to kind of prove as yet. This is the case relating to Malik Riaz, the real estate property, tycoon right now in Dubai. And Imran Khan and his government released 192 million pounds, uh, which were supposed to be, which were caught in money laundering,
Right.
and through a deal done by Imran Khan government, and in return for which he got a land. Now there's a solid case, but I don't know why. Partly up until now, what had happened was that the judiciary was, divided. Some of the judiciary, higher judiciary, was supporting Imran Khan.
Yes.
26th Amendment was carried out just for that, to kind of reverse
Yes.
that. But the fact of the matter is, people, PTI supporters inside Pakistan are protesting. People outside are protesting. I mean,
Yes.
yesterday in London, where I am, over 2,000 people got in front of Downing Street.
In fact, this is
There
a
were
question.
bigger marches in Italy.
In fact, this is exactly what I want to ask you, which is that he seems to be extremely popular despite very serious charges against him. Despite being in jail, his clarion calls are being answered. It sort of seems that the establishment or the present government doesn't have answers to his popularity, and the crisis of legitimacy that the Shahbaz Sharif government faces just become that much more acute.
No, there you are right. You see, and the problem is that the cost for the establishment is increasing. I mean, yesterday I was hearing there are actually even retired military officers and their families who tried to join the protest. Some of them have been arrested. Nobody knows where they are. They are being, moved from one police station to the other. Nobody can access those families. Overnight, the capital city was, the hostels were, evacuated, closed down. Students were put on the streets, nowhere to go home. Main highways in Punjab were shut down. Main highways connecting Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Islamabad were shut down. I mean, it's like the country is under siege, but not from outside, but from within. And which basically means the cost is rising. But so far, it seems that the military establishment is ready to clamp down. It says this is a cost that I can bear as long as I can keep the situation in control, keep things going. I mean, their estimates are that in 2-3 days, this will all get washed over until a new announcement is made.
Let me put that to Tara Kartha. That Tara, how serious or how significant are the threat that exists from these protests, from Imran Khan's popularity? Add to it what's happening, the unrest in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, to Shahbaz Sharif's government, and the possibility of it lasting these very uncertain and turbulent times.
I mean, looking at the visuals that you're showing right now, this is massive. I mean, I have never seen anything like this in this country, this level of protest. And like Aisha said correctly, and I had mentioned earlier, this is a level of support for him which is among the middle class also. Is the educated people who are educated, the people from, the upper classes of society. They're not going to give up so easily. And they're taking it to the media, they're taking it outside the country. And I think, it's Bushra Bibi says, she says, we are not leaving until Imran Khan is released. That was her last statement. And if that is the case, if they're going to sit down there, it is serious. But, protests, however large, after a while, they tend to peter off, but then the thing is whether can the government sit down and face this for, say, a week, 10 days? I don't know, because PTI is the master of protests. I mean, Imran Khan has shown his ability to launch protests, ironically, with the help of the army earlier against Nawaz Sharif. We've had these massive protests. So let's see how this goes. And meanwhile, it's basically the soldiers who are getting targeted. In Balochistan, it was a group of soldiers. In Bannu, it was a group of soldiers on a suicide attack. So this is overall an attack on one of the most important state institutions, which is the army. I mean, after the 26th constitutional amendment, it is now the army which is in power. Forget Shahbaz Sharif. The army's got everything under it, and everybody knows it. So
Indeed.
it's a loss of face for the army, a terrible loss of face if these people do not sort of go away after a while. If they keep getting some more support, then I honestly don't know what's going to happen.
Aisha, how do you read this going forward from here on? There have been clarion calls, they're being answered. There's unrest that's in fact amplified in parts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, further pointing out Shahbaz Sharif government's inability to keep the country together. Where do you see this going from here on?
See, firstly, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is governed by a PTI government.
Yeah.
So it's a provincial government ruled by the PTI, which is in conflict with the federal government, which is Shahbaz Sharif, right? And some of the resources the federal government gives to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And, you talk to the Pakhtuns and they fear that, Ali Amin Gandapur, he plays on two sides, the chief minister of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. On the one side, of course, there is the party, which he has to stand by. But, on the other, he also needs to talk to the establishment. He keeps talking to the establishment. And there are several reasons, instances where they've had a discussion, where they have a dialogue. So right now, this is a problematic period, and what they feel that, the establishment feels that this is momentary and this will pass. Let me also point out very quickly and relate to what Tara was saying. The crisis in Balochistan or the crisis in KP has got nothing to do with this crisis. I mean, they're disconnected. I mean, the army may have a poor face in Balochistan and other parts for not fighting the TTP, all of that. That's a separate matter.
Right.
This is very deeply political.
This is deeply political and has huge ramifications. Let me quickly get in a voice from Pakistan, from Islamabad. In fact, Meher Tarar joins me on a phone line because, as I said, internet is completely down and communication lines are also impacted significantly. Meher, talk to us about the situation on ground, what's happening, how significant is this protest and the standoff between PTI and the government?
I'm not in Islamabad, I'm in Lahore, but I'm in Islam the same thing. Everything, most other than the protest is primarily either from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or Punjab. People traveling to Islamabad are mostly from Lahore or, cities around Lahore. The thing is, you can't call it a standoff. It's not a standoff. It's basically living the Pakistanis against the current government. It's not just about Imran Khan's incarceration anymore. It's not even about the crackdown on PTI supporters and PTI activists and leaders and the raids on their houses. You see, anybody who, for instance, if somebody announces that they are going to protest against peacefully protest against what is happening in Pakistan, so there's a crackdown. They would raid that person's house to try. If a protest is announced, they go into parliamentarian houses. They try to when they try to arrest them. They break things in the house. They beat up people, family members. They were like females, wives, mothers, staff members, children, teenagers. So it's a chaos. It has always been bad in Pakistan for the opposition parties, but right now it's more than a standoff. The major problem right now, not right now, since January 2024, is the result of the election, because it's not what PTI is saying, or regional observers, international observers, even PTI distracting, people who don't like PTI at all and who hate Imran Khan with the passion and impartial observers. Everybody said, other than of course these parties, they are all. I was talking to somebody who's known for her criticism of Imran Khan, a famous person in Pakistan. She said she tweeted right after the election that Imran Khan's party had won the election. So let them form the government. That is the principal problem. It's beyond Imran Khan's incarceration and what is happening in Pakistan. So the result, it's called the Form 47 government in Pakistan. This government in the center and in Punjab did not win the election. They did not have the mandate, and they are the ones who are deciding who gets to speak, who gets to protest. Because if you look at Pakistan's history, no prime minister has ever been able to finish their term in government. The problem is they all wanted their supporters. They all wanted to react.
Absolutely.
Kept asking for years, the problem is they have been stunned at
Yes.
influence the person's elections. Because most of the principal, most of the important leaders are either in jail. Some of them were forced to leave the party. Some of them are in hiding.
Absolutely.
So if you need to understand that this protest is not being led by Imran Khan or Shah.
Okay, so that's essentially what the fundamental issue is, which is how people think. As Meher was saying, people are saying it's not just about a standoff, it's about a stolen mandate from the people as far as that election in February this year that took place that got Shahbaz Sharif. On that note, thank you so much, Aisha Siddiqui, as well as Tara Kartha. In fact, it was an all-women's panel. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of India Global. And on that note, we slip into a very short break. We come back on the other side, discuss a lot more stories. Stay with us.
We all know animals have feelings. They depend on kindness, just like you and me. So imagine how they feel when they're beaten, starved, and unloved. Every minute, the RSPCA is called on to save animals in physical agony and mental torment. It's unbearable to see the pain in their eyes. We refuse to give up on them, but to rescue them from a life of fear, we urgently need animal lovers like you to donate today. Please call 0800 121 4259 or text KIND to 84902 to give £2 a month to the RSPCA. Your gift will help fund more life-saving rescues, more emergency treatment, and more gentle rehabilitation. Every month, you'll be helping to keep animals free from pain and sadness, so they can find the comfort and joy they deserve. Right now, across the country, thousands are suffering deliberate harm. But together, we can show animals what kindness feels like. Together, we can rescue them. So please, call 0800 121 4259, text KIND to 84902, or visit our website to start your monthly donation today. Thank you.
Quickly remove unwanted hairs with the new U Body and Face Trimmer from JML. Your pain-free way to tackle any unwanted hairs that pop out of nowhere. The wide dual head design and floating heads adjust to the curves of your skin. Gentle enough to use on your upper lip, knees and ankles, and even your bikini line. No nicks, cuts or irritation. Remove unwanted hairs anytime, anywhere with the new U Body and Face Trimmer. Only $19.99 from Asda, Boots, Morrison's, Tesco and JMLdirect.com. JML, your Christmas made easier.
You know, the toughest part of the whole grief, I'll never forget, is when Nan turned to me one time. And she goes, "John, I don't know what's happening to me."
Those weeks that he came in, with the 3 weeks that I could be his little girl again, nothing I can do will repay Marie Curie for doing that for. The amazing gift that they gave me was I was there at his last breath. He was there for my first.
In the calls, they just listen. She just said, "John, just speak."
Although people don't like to talk about it, but we're getting older, it has to be done.
You start to think about, well, what would I do? Where would I want to leave things?
I will give everything back that I can to the hospice that gave me so much, not only in my name, but in Dad's name.
Who do I give my assets to?
Didn't realise you had a choice.
Give better end-of-life care to all. Get your free will guide today.
Welcome back. This is India Global. On to some important stories coming in. First up, India has taken a firm stance on food safety by rejecting unsafe food consignments from several neighboring countries. India rejected shipments from China, Sri Lanka, Japan and Turkey this year. The Food Safety and Standards Authority of India identified several key issues with the rejected consignments. Products such as apples, nuts, alcoholic beverages were refused for falling short of its food safety standards and guidelines. All right, Britain's King Charles III is reportedly planning an official visit to India early next year. And Queen Camilla will be accompanying the king on the royal tour to the Indian subcontinent, which is part of a government-led, charm offensive and also a personal health boost following a cancer diagnosis earlier this year, according to UK media. King Charles will visit India, Pakistan and Bangladesh during the trip. The British government is reportedly keen on a royal tour of the Commonwealth countries. So, with the UK trying to establish economic links or deepen economic links outside of Europe in a post-Brexit world. The monarch's earlier planned visit to the Indian subcontinent had to be abandoned after the Queen's death in September 2022. All right, we're slipping into a very short break. We come back with lots more stories on the other side. Stay with us.
Visit bingoaliens.com/bingo for a cosmic range of bingo games, taking bingo to another dimension at bingoaliens.com/bingo.
At Tesco Mobile, that Black Friday feeling lasts longer. Get the epic Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra with unlimited data for just $49.99 a month with Club Card prices. That's a huge Black Friday saving of £738. And what's more, that price is frozen for your whole contract. Plus, you'll also get Club Card points for even more value, turning Black Friday into Black Friday. It pays to be connected. Search Tesco Mobile. Every little helps.
Watch Music India on Sky 711.
Protect what matters to you with Simply Safe Home Security. Save big with our Black Friday offers. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
TUI's Black Friday deals have landed. Save up to £300 per booking with a My TUI account. Pick from tons of flight options and holiday durations. Get away for less this Black Friday. Offers now on. TUI. Live happy. Financially protected by Atoll.
Get comfy this Christmas with Pillow Pad Fold Away from JML. The multi-angle viewing stand that makes any device easy to see, comfortable and hands-free. The plush microfiber ledge holds any device securely at the perfect viewing angle. And it comes with a handy storage compartment. It's a great gift for sofa surfers. Whether you're sitting, lounging or lying down, get the perfect view with Pillow Pad Fold Away. Only $19.99 from Asda, Boots, Dunelm, Tesco and jmldirect.com.
Dealing with my lot means making smart choices. And with our family growing, I want to protect the life we've built. That's why I'm calling Smart Insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please.
OK, you can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000 depending on your age.
Brilliant.
If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought. And could help my husband pay off the mortgage.
With our Smart Family Guarantee and 99% of claims having been paid, you'll have peace of mind.
I'll go ahead.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cashback on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0800 977 5753 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
Welcome back. This is India Global. The big story that we are tracking right now, External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar's three-day trip to Italy for G7 foreign ministers meeting. Jaishankar, in fact, also spoke about the IMEC as well as the West Asia crisis and said that India supports the ceasefire or any ceasefire possibility in West Asia, and also went on to reiterate India's stance regarding the issue, which is that New Delhi supports a two-state solution to the Israel-Palestine issue. Dr. Jaishankar said that IMEC is a game changer for global connectivity and said that India is in constant touch with Iran, Israel, and has urged restraint in ensuring that the conflict doesn't continue to spiral out. Let's first listen in to what Dr. Jaishankar had to say. We come back and talk more on this.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has personally engaged leaders of both Russia and Ukraine to this end. This has included his visiting Moscow and Kiev. Our senior officials remain in continuous touch. We firmly believe that those who have the ability to explore finding common ground must step up to that responsibility. The IMEC, the India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, that was announced in September 2020, can be a game changer. The conflict underway currently in the Middle East has undoubtedly been a major complication, but it is proceeding, the IMEC is proceeding ahead on the eastern side, especially between India and the UAE and Saudi Arabia. Our concerns have also been increasing on the widening of the conflict. We have been in regular touch with both Israel and Iran at the highest levels to advocate restraint and enhance communication.
Okay, Foreign Minister also in fact spoke to his British counterpart in terms of building on the India-UK relationship. Let's get in Mohammad Ghazali, my colleague, to fill us in with the very specifics in terms of what all Dr. Jaishankar said on this trip. Fill us in, Ghazali.
Yeah, Gaurie, so this visit is very important. One, that Dr. Jaishankar is visiting Italy shortly after Indian Prime Minister Mr. Modi spoke to and met Italian Prime Minister during the G20 summit in Brazil. So the first meeting which happened between his counterpart with Italian counterpart focused on that, building up on that relationship. So during the first leg of his visit in the yesterday and day before yesterday, Dr. Jaishankar spoke about the relevance and how to sort of cement more ties, more improvise the ties between India and Italy. But today, he also spoke about the two burning issues in the world. One regarding the Ukraine-Russia war and how India has been promoting that any solution can't be found on the battlefield, and diplomacy and dialogue is the only way out for both parties to come to one table and find out a solution. The second important part, which is also related to connectivity issue, is about the IMEC corridor, the India, Middle East, European corridor, which was sort of conceptualized during the G20 last year when India was the host, and many Western nations were signatory of that, Italy being one of it. And Dr. Jaishankar spoke about the progress of IMEC corridor, but also stressed on the fact that how West Asia is also on a boil right now, and every day, though the reports are emerging that Lebanon and Israel will be working on a ceasefire, but the war is also expanding with many new players getting into this conflict. And yet again, Dr. Jaishankar spoke about that how India's stand is very clear when it comes to the Israel-Palestine issue. There should be a two-state solution. India has also been sending aid to Palestine, and that issue must be resolved in order to progress with the IMEC corridor. So that are the two developing issues. Besides that, Dr. Jaishankar also spoke about that how India has always been the voice of global South, and that is why India is offering itself as a player to play the role of a peacemaker, even in both the conflicts, though India is far, far away geographically when it comes to these two conflicts. But certainly, Ukraine-Russia war, as well as conflict in Middle East, is also impacting, you can say, the maritime security for India and its global players.
All right, Mohammad Ghazali, appreciate you giving us a lowdown of the key takeaways of Dr. Jaishankar's visit in Italy. In fact, speaking of Russia, Ukraine, the latest updates coming in is that Moscow is claiming that its forces attacked Ukraine's equipment assembly points on Sunday. And Ukraine has claimed that its troops tried to stop the Russian army from breaking through their defense in the last 24 hours. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, its army attacked Ukraine's manpower and equipment assembly areas in 141 regions, as well as multiple Ukrainian military airports, drone production workshops and storage points. Russia's air defense forces also shot down 44 Ukrainian drones. As reported, 122 battles took place in the frontline areas, and the situation on the front line still remains tense, especially in the direction of Kharkov and other such eastern Ukraine regions. The Ukrainian army has said that it's taking all measures to prevent the Russian army from breaking through. The statement added that it continued its military operation in western Russia's Kursk region that it started in August. As the battle rages on, even after 1,000 days of incessant battles, Ukraine's security service has displayed the wreckage of the new Russian experimental ballistic missile, which allegedly struck a factory in the central Ukrainian city of Dnipro on Thursday. The missile fragments of the missile was in fact seen. The Pentagon says the missile is based on Russia's RS-26 Rubesk intercontinental ballistic missile.
Вказана ракета є балістичною, рухалась по балістичній траєкторії, на яку лише впливав аеродинамічний опір, і наслідком якого було пошкодження, зокрема, об'єктів цивільної інфраструктури та інфраструктури, зокрема, міста Дніпра.
Meanwhile, in the U.S., in light of the missile strike, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's incoming national security advisor has said that on Sunday that the incoming administration wants to get both sides to the table and is concerned about escalation. Well, in fact, he made it clear on Fox News Sunday that he has met with Biden's national security advisor, which is Jake Sullivan, to discuss U.S. policy and options in Ukraine. The Florida congressman assured that those conversations will in fact continue. Shifting focus now from one war to the other, in West Asia, where the crisis is seeing, well, unfortunately, no end in sight. Latest update coming in: Israeli airstrikes hit buildings in Beirut's southern suburbs on Monday, sending clouds of smoke billowing over the Lebanese capital. The retaliation came after Hezbollah mounted one of its biggest drone attacks against Israel over the weekend. Some of the rockets reached Tel Aviv areas in the heart of Israel. In a warning notice on social media platform X, a spokesman for the Israeli military said that the airstrikes were targeting Hezbollah facilities and interests. In fact, in Iran, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei has said that an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was not enough, calling for an execution sentence. Khamenei made the remarks on Monday during an event which he spoke to members of the all-volunteer arm of Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard.
کاری که اینا کردن پیروزی نیست، جنایت جنگی است. حکم بازداشتشو صادر کردن، کافی نیست. حکم اعدام نتانیاهو.
All right, we're slipping into a break. We come back on the other side and talk more about India's strong rejection of Cop29's funding deal. We come back and decode what does it mean for New Delhi and the Global South.
Dealing with my lot means making smart choices. And with our family growing, I want to protect the life we've built. That's why I'm calling Smart Insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please.
OK, you can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000 depending on your age.
Brilliant.
If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought. And could help my husband pay off the mortgage.
With our Smart Family Guarantee and 99% of claims having been paid, you'll have peace of mind.
I'll go ahead.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cashback on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0800 977 5753 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
Quickly remove unwanted hairs with the new U Body and Face Trimmer from JML. Your pain-free way to tackle any unwanted hairs that pop out of nowhere. The wide dual head design and floating heads adjust to the curves of your skin. Gentle enough to use on your upper lip, knees and ankles, and even your bikini line. No nicks, cuts or irritation. Remove unwanted hairs anytime, anywhere with the new U Body and Face Trimmer. Only $19.99 from Asda, Argos, Boots, Tesco and JMLdirect.com. JML, your Christmas made easier.
At Tesco Mobile, that Black Friday feeling lasts longer. Get our unlimited data SIM for just $17.50 a month with Club Card prices. That's a huge Black Friday saving of £180. And what's more, that price is frozen for your whole contract. Plus, you'll also get Club Card points for even more value, turning Black Friday into Black Friday. It pays to be connected. Search Tesco Mobile. Every little helps.
It's great to be helping out before my first grandchild arrives. And after having a few repairs myself, I need to make sure they'll all be protected. Which reminds me.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote.
No problem. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK. UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted. Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000.
Wow, that money could help with funeral costs or as a gift for my grandkid. I'll do it.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
He's going to be named after his granddad.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free quote today, call our UK team on 0800 470 4444 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
Bel canto. Beautiful song in Italian. It is also the name of our chiming watch, which resonated across the world when released just 2 years ago. Now, the new Bel canto classic reminds us that sometimes hearing is believing. The Bel canto classic by Christopher Ward. Do your research.
Protect what matters to you with Simply Safe Home Security. Save big with our Black Friday offers. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Move over Black Friday. At PlusNet, we always keep it pink because our great value lasts longer than just one day. Like full fibre, our fastest and most reliable broadband from just $25.99 a month. Switching to PlusNet is now easier than ever. That's a plus. And there's no activation fee. See how fast that wiggle is? We're even faster. Get our best price by coming direct. Offer ends 11th of December. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle.
Welcome back. This is India Global. Let's now focus on the big story that New Delhi has been talking about and pitching for, which is climate finance. Climate finance commensurate to the challenges that the developing world faces. India had pitched for upwards of $1 trillion till 2030 to be the annual climate financing that should be made available to developing countries to ensure that they are able to meet the climate catastrophes, also plan for climate transition. That didn't happen because Cop29 was being driven by the agenda and interests of the developed countries, something that hurts the interest of the global south, of the least developed countries, and those people who are likely to be most impacted by climate change. Let's first listen in to Chandni Raina, who represented India at COP29. We come back and talk more about what this means and what all can New Delhi do from here on.
Goal is too little, too distant. It is 2035, it's too far gone. Our 2030 estimates tell us that we need to do it at 1.3 trillion per year till 2030. But we have only been agreeable to have, or we have a proposal that talks about 300 USD billion mobilization goal. It does not address the needs and priorities of developing countries. The amount that is proposed to be mobilized is abysmally poor. It's a paltry sum. It is not something that will enable conducive climate action that is necessary for the survival of our country and for the growth of our people, their livelihoods. And I'm sorry to say that we cannot accept it.
Very strong words coming in from India at COP29. Let's get in Harjeet Singh, who was at Baku, a climate activist and a global engagement director of the Fossil Fuel Non-Proliferation Treaty Initiative. Thanks so much, Harjeet, for speaking to me on India Global. Tell us, what do you think of what came out of Baku?
We absolutely reject the outcome. It is a betrayal. The outcome is woefully inadequate. And as Indian delegation said, it was stage managed, and the way it was hastily gavelled through the proposal. In fact, in the whole process, developing countries were forced to agree to this dismal outcome. And the fact is developing countries like India and even vulnerable countries have been completely left on their own. So big questions are being raised on the outcome, but also the process, the way it was run and the way it was stage managed. It doesn't really help us deal with the climate crisis. And as you said, finance is absolutely central to climate action and the ambition that we need to respond to the scale of the climate crisis. And what has been offered is pittance, and we don't even know whether this money is going to be real or not. So that's a huge challenge, and India has rightly raised the concerns
300
and
billion.
must.
Harjeet, you suspect even the $300 billion may not come? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, absolutely. Because the language, if you read, it says calls on all actors to work together. So the obligation of developed countries is not defined. How do you trace? How do you track that finance? And the roadmap that it talks about now, because there was a huge pressure to talk about $1 trillion and beyond, there's a Baku to Bellum roadmap, which talks about unlocking financial resources. What does that mean? What we need is grants and not loans. And that's exactly what developed countries have been offering. In fact, I would say they are rather making money from the climate crisis than meeting their obligations towards developing countries like India, like Nepal, like Malawi, and like Nigeria.
When you say that developing countries or least developed countries they need grants and not loans, help us understand that is most of the climate finance in the form of loans, and therefore even those cannot be repaid by the least developed countries, making the crisis even more acute?
You're absolutely right, Gaurie. In fact, by their own admission, the last $100 billion goal had 69% of the amount as loans. Now imagine we are living in a world where countries are already facing the debt crisis. As per ActionAid report, 93% of the climate vulnerable countries are facing the crisis or on the verge of it. That's the reality, and climate crisis is making it worse. So in that situation, you're asking countries and communities to borrow money to either repair the harm that has been done to them or prepare for climate impacts by borrowing money, which is double injustice. First, they are not responsible for the crisis, and second, now you are going to make them furthermore indebted because you're asking them to take loan, and you are going to make money from this crisis. That's deeply unfair.
It is unfair, unjust, and just something, this is like daylight robbery actually. But Harjeet, with the fact that Cop29 hasn't addressed any of the concerns of the developing countries, what do you think lies the alternative? These weeks-long negotiations where nothing comes out of it, with high hopes, high expectations being completely shattered. What's the way out? Is there an alternative in terms of climate technology? Is there an alternative in terms of innovative financing models that need to be discovered?
So clearly this system needs a reform, and we cannot afford to abandon this critical platform, because this is only one of the few that have been designed to ensure that all nations, regardless of their size or economic power, have an equal voice. But it is also clear that we need to reorient the system to serve the interest of the most vulnerable countries than of the fossil fuel lobbyists and polluters. And I must mention, there were more than 1,700 lobbyists moving around to influence the negotiations. And the fact is that historical polluters and their powers continue to overshadow the voices of smaller and frontline communities. So countries like Nepal and like Malawi and like India are not going to get sufficient support if we continue
then final
with
question,
the same
Harjeet,
process.
let me ask you this. What is it that a country like New Delhi should do? Because it's not just speaking about itself, it's speaking on behalf of so many other least developed and developing countries. What should New Delhi now be doing?
India should continue to raise the issue. Let's not just make it a one-time challenge that we made to the presidency and to the system. It should mobilize other developing countries, because it did get support when we voiced our concerns. And we should actually, next year, we are going to be developing our climate action plan, or what we call NDCs, nationally determined contribution. I think we should definitely challenge the rich countries that we will not be able to raise ambition unless and until money is provided, and the money that has been offered is real. So next year is a crucial opportunity as we go to Brazil for the next COP. And now that we have this roadmap, There
Yes.
are opportunities, but also we should ask for a reform of this process and a new global framework that
Yes.
can tackle the issue of fossil fuels and moving towards renewable energy far, far more
Yes.
robustly. And that's why we are demanding a new fossil fuel non-proliferation treaty to help countries like India.
Thanks, Harjeet, for giving us that perspective on an issue that's likely to impact all of humanity. Thank you so much for taking out the time to speak to me on India Global. In fact, climate is one area where Donald Trump's entry is set to make a major impact, and which is the reason why from today onwards at India Global, we are starting a new segment, which is Countdown to Trump 2.0. Why Trump administration, the incoming Trump administration matters, and areas where it's likely to impact, and also important developments in this transition period as well. First up, a very important and interesting story, one may say, which is that the US Secretary of State right now, who is Anthony Blinken, is facing severe criticism for allegedly hosting, well, believe it or not, cry session therapy for staff members who were upset with Donald Trump's election victory a few days after Trump's win. And it was a very thumping victory against Kamala Harris. A document titled Managing Stress During Change was delivered to department workers on the 11th of November. It sparked the first reports of the meetings, and in an open letter to Blinken, California Congressman Tara Issa slammed the State Department for the disturbing reported counseling sessions that took place after Trump's win. In fact, I'm concerned that the department is catering to federal employees, is what he said, and went on to say, who are now personally devastated by the normal functioning of American democracy through the provision of government-funded mental health counseling, because Kamala Harris was not elected the President of the United States, Trump supporter Issa wrote. In fact, another very important story in Countdown to Trump 2.0, Stanford University-trained physician and economist Jay Bhattacharya has reportedly emerged as the presumptive favorite of President-elect Donald Trump's transition team. He is being considered for the post of next director of the National Institute of Health, or the NIH, a nearly $50 billion agency that oversees the nation's biomedical research. The Stanford-trained physician and economist met this week with Robert Kennedy Jr., who's been appointed by Trump to lead the Department of Health and Human Services, or the HHS. It is the United States' top health agency, which oversees the NIH and other health agencies. All right, as we wrap things up, a very important story coming in from sports. India demolished Australia in the Perth Test. India's quest for glory down under got a huge bump up as India beat Australia by 295 runs in a very comprehensive victory where Virat Kohli scored a century. It is his 81st, in fact. India's quest for winning the Border Gavaskar series has seen it now taking a lead of 1-0. Take a look at this report.
While it was Jasprit Bumrah on day 3 that tore through the top order of Australia, it was Mohammad Siraj's turn on day 4 as he got the prize wicket of Usman Khwaja and then sent Steve Smith back to the pavilion. Travis Head and Mitchell Marsh got together and tried to counter-attack.
He certainly is.
But Captain Fantastic Jasprit Bumrah took charge of the situation and sent the dangerous Travis Head back. And after Mitchell Marsh departed of this delivery of debutant Nitish Reddy, Australia's lower order didn't last long. India registering its third biggest victory by runs away from home and jumping to the top of the World Test Championship table.
And there's that moment. Jasprit Bumrah as captain has achieved what no one expected. Come on.
All right, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Global. Thanks so much for watching.
Quidco gives you cashback every time you shop on over 5,000 brands. It always pays to Quidco. Sign up and start saving today. Visit quidco.com.
Get comfy this Christmas with Pillow Pad Fold Away from JML. The multi-angle viewing stand that makes any device easy to see, comfortable and hands-free. The plush microfiber ledge holds any device securely at the perfect viewing angle. And it comes with a handy storage compartment. It's a great gift for sofa surfers. Whether you're sitting, lounging or lying down, get the perfect view with Pillow Pad Fold Away. Only $19.99 from Asda, Dunelm, Morrison's, Tesco and jmldirect.com.
Introducing your Tombola bugs. It's Spidey. Oh, hi. Flutter.
Make sure you get my good side.
Rob.
Yeah,
we're the celebs now.
What are you playing, Snail?
Bug Match. It's back.
Bug Match is back, and it's free to play. This year, someone will win £1,000 every day.
Winner is served.
Open for fun.
No child should suffer the torture of trachoma. But so many are in pain right now. Nananga's lashes have turned inwards. They rip and tear away at his eyes. Pomelo's sight could be gone forever. He's just 3 years old. Kofanga screams for his mother. His eyes are so infected that he can't even see her. For so many children in the world's poorest countries, trachoma is torture. It's a painful infection often spread by flies, and it's destroying children's eyesight. But it could be stopped if you help today. By calling 0800 021 3925 and giving £2 a month to Sightsavers, you can help make sure children get the treatment they desperately need. You'll help us bring them the medicines and the care that can treat infections. And that means you'll be helping to save children from the torture of trachoma and a life of blindness. Please help us reach them. Call 0800 021 3925, text C7 to 82727, or go online and give just £2 a month now. Because we need you to help save the sight of children like Nananga. We need you to help save them from the torture of trachoma.
Hello?
Hello? I need help.
Hello? I desperately need a place to stay.
Every 10 minutes, we get a call like this from another homeless young person. This Christmas, we're expecting more frightened young people to call the Centrepoint helpline than ever before. We must answer their calls. Please, text SAFE to 70755 or search Centrepoint 5 online to start your gift of just £5 a month. In the months ahead, you'll know your gift is helping more homeless young people get the safety and support they urgently need. Thank you.
What's wrong with the car? It's okay, lads. I'm with the AA. Bombay mix.
Because the AA has more expert patrols across the country, you'll be back on the road in no time. No wonder more people choose